good. I'm good. It's finally good to get on your podcast.
Oh, thank you, thank you. If it sounds a little bit too noisy, I am at Scooters right now. So,
Oh, that's okay. That's
and if the
okay.
wife, and if the Wi-Fi is a little bit ass, again, I'm at Scooters.
Okay.
So let me try to put up the volume and whatnot. But again, how are you?
I'm good. I'm doing good. And you?
Pretty good. Pretty a little bit hot, but other than that, doing pretty good.
Okay. So, what are you doing? Watching football?
No. Today I'm waiting for the Kansas City Chiefs and Bucks one because
Okay.
that one's a surprising one. But let's see how that one is gonna go. I mean, the Eagles I saw are still undefeated, 4-0.
Okay. Yeah. Philadelphia. Okay.
I'm like, shit. Philly's actually sticking up this year. I mean,
I know, right? I'm sorry. My Uber app is blowing up here.
no, you're good. You're good. But
So,
I
what's the
mean,
topic we're going to be chatting about today?
well, honestly, with mine, I guess I don't really have like a specific one. I guess you could say like just kind of just having conversation with people, and really when topics and questions that pop in my head come up, that's when I can ask them. I mean, that's kind of how mine is. I mean, with I don't know if you've seen mine, like my podcast. It's just
I
a
have.
lot of the times if it's not me just saying just some shit that goes on in the day. I mean, it's kind of what's more focused
Right,
on.
exactly.
Can until
Basically, you just
get until I get with like like certain people. Like if I somehow get someone that let's say is in finance, I will talk to them about finance. But then if I'm having someone that's in the medical field, I'll try my best to talk to them like in the
right,
medical field and whatnot. Not like always specific on something because I'm not saying that's hard for me, but if I can,
right,
if I can just get if I can just get everyone from everywhere, chat and learn more
right.
and get to know each other. That's to me, I like that better. It's kind of like Joe
Yeah,
Rogan's where he's got, you know, just sit down and you talk. What about yours?
yeah.
What's
I
yours
totally.
about?
Well, mine is just general topics as well. I might talk about love. The other day I had a question up there: debit cards versus cash. How much money should you have in your pocket versus just a debit card? Because it was an
Hmm.
instance at work where I needed $1 and all I had was 4 quarters and nobody had a paper dollar to give me. And it was like weird how many people I had to ask because everybody uses debit cards and nobody has cash.
Debit or credit? What? Which one do you
Yeah,
prefer? A debit card or a credit card?
I prefer a debit card because you really like using your own money versus credit. I feel like you using somebody else's, and if you don't pay it like when you're supposed to, then that interest rate hits you. It's a lot to that, but I prefer debit. If I have to use it, I prefer debit.
Debit.
Comes right
Eh,
out.
yeah, I understand. But with me, um, I guess you can say I use both. If like for certain needs, like gas and whatnot, I can use the credit card to get just some cash back. It's not a lot, but I mean it's something that I
Right.
get back. But I
Yeah.
mean, 99% of the time, I'll probably be using my debit card because
Yeah. So, do you keep any cash on you? Do you have any cash on you?
I
See?
mean, let me just show you. Let me just show you how my wallet is
Okay.
designed. So this is how I got a
Okay.
slim wallet, so I can't. I don't really like to have cash, and I'm not saying having cash is bad, but I just don't like to have it sometimes in my hand because, or just in the wallet, like however you want to call
Right.
it, because I'm afraid of let's say I lose my wallet, I can always lock the cards, get a new one, and whatever. But if it's
Right.
cash, it's gone. It's gone forever. I can't. I can tell the police, oh yeah, I had X amount of money, but how much
Right.
would they really believe me? Because they can say you
Right.
can tell them I had 500. in the 500 in cash, and they'll look at me like, yeah, sure, like, yeah, okay, you had 500, yeah, sure.
Right,
Now
exactly.
you're fucked. Now you're fucked.
Exactly.
So,
So it's like that was one of the big things, and it was crazy because I was like, wow, people really don't have cash anymore. So yeah. I talk about topics like that, love, relationships gone wrong, for guys and for girls. It's
mm-hmm,
really cool. I'm really just getting started, but it's like I already know it's gonna be like so amazing and awesome and go far once it gets off the ground. But I really like doing it.
mm-hmm.
I love doing it.
Because who, because who do you um, what do you call it? Like podcast through the whatever they call it. Kids. What's
LinkedIn. I do mine through LinkedIn. I'm on Spotify. I'm on SoundCloud. Tumbar or Tubar. Yeah. I'm on a lot of different platforms. I just did me a YouTube one, um, podcast page. So I'm really trying to
mhm.
like build it up
Yes,
so it can take off.
same here. I mean, I use Anchor, and with
Okay.
that I can distribute, and with that it distributes it to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, um, Amazon Music. Mine also on Pandora. I have mine on iHeartRadio. I have
Okay.
mine on a lot of those too. And then I have a YouTube. I don't. I want to. I mean, I wanted to post all my episodes on there,
Right.
but right now, I mean, I'm using my MacBook for the camera. I could use the phone, but I
Right.
want to have a proper camera that I can use to when I am record, like actually, like further along with the podcast, I can record
Right.
everything, and so then when I distribute it, it obviously distributes everything, upload it to YouTube, so then it can pick up on YouTube, get AdSense from
Right.
there, what pick up there as well as on the page, and really grow it. I mean,
Yeah. So where do you see yourself like going with your podcast? Like, do you have a general audience or are you targeting like a specific group of people?
oh, really? Right now, kind of just a general audience. I mean, I'm not really looking for a specific type. I mean, I heard it's best to try to create your own community, and
Right.
I I hope to do that by first gathering a general audience, because if I try to stick to a specific one, let's say a lot of the people
Right.
that I have as friends on Facebook, none of them even listen to it because it's a topic they don't want to hear. So then if I just keep sticking to one topic, keep sharing it, but no one wants to listen to it, then it's like, well, I'm screwed now because no one, it's not picking up.
One of the
And
right.
because if I go general and then create an audience that way, because anyone
Right.
from anywhere, if let's say you are a college student and you want to hear, because I'm 21, so you want to hear
Right.
also another 21-year-old, let's say they're talking to a doctor, but you're not even in the medical field, but it just sounds amazing. It just sounds good to hear someone in the medical field and say, "Oh, well, that's interesting of what they do," or whatever.
Right.
Like you know what I mean? Like
I
it's
know.
kind of like it's kind of like have you heard of Joe Rogan's podcast?
I haven't, to be honest. No.
Yeah, he's that's kind of like the one that I'm aiming for. His is a lot is pretty broad, but
Hmm.
I mean, you listen to his and you're like, holy shit, like he's got the balls to say that to someone.
Right. Yeah, some people can be really blunt, and it really helps. I mean, I think like people like um, people kind of like that wild card effect these days is what I call it,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of matters. Um, I haven't really gotten into that yet, but I'm quite sure I'll go into that at some point. Just starting out, I'm just trying to like navigate. But I feel like you feel I don't want to just keep it to one topic, because then everybody's going to look for it to be on that topic. And I don't want to keep it one topic. I want to go around. I mean, I want to do different topics that everybody is interested in. Somebody might
Mm-hmm.
want to hear about cars one day. I want to talk about cars. I don't know a lot, but I'd like to have somebody up there that can talk about cars.
Mm-hmm.
I did an episode about rap music. You know, I like to listen at rap music. You know, what age should you not listen at rap music? You know, and that was a great one. I like it. I like the beat. Some lyrics are great. So it's just a lot of different things. And I
Who are your
enjoy doing.
artists when it comes to rap?
Well, I like more like Bootsy. I love Bootsy. I love him. He always tells a story to me, and I love that. I can follow his story, and I love him. I
Mm-hmm.
love Jay Z. I love Busta Rhymes. I love basically a lot of them. My son just turned me on to Rod Wave. I never heard Rod Wave before, but I was
Right,
riding in
right.
the car with him one day, and he was playing Rod Wave, and I fell in love. I love him. He tells a story. So yeah, it's just I love it. I love all kinds of music. I'm a music person. I love Adam Levine. I love Blake Shelton. I don't have just a specific genre of music. I like it all.
That's who I am too, because I can my you can look at my playlist and see, oh, you got some raps here and there, and then bam, a fucking Harry Styles song, and I'm like, well, I like it. It's good. I'm not gonna argue. I mean, it's Harry Styles.
Exactly. So I
It's
love it
Harry
all.
Styles,
So yeah,
or like Justin Bieber. Like, who the hell wouldn't like Justin Bieber? If I have some of his
right.
songs, I have some of his songs.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah, I love it
but
all. Katy Perry, I love it all. Madonna, Miley Cyrus, I love it all. It doesn't matter. I love it all. Pink, I love her.
just Pink.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
I,
so it is. I
I
mean,
love. You like Pink?
and I haven't really heard much of her songs. My bad. And
Yeah.
but my girlfriend, she has listened to some of her songs, and she's she's also kind of all the way around, but she's a lot more
Okay.
in rock and hip hop, but more of the newer hip hop. And I don't mind any of those, but sometimes I feel like it's more of a beat rather than lyrics. And
Right.
so the beat may go hard, but then when you listen to the lyrics, you're like, what are they saying? I don't, or you
I
can't even
know
understand them. You're like, this is
that.
all so auto tuned. I can't even understand them. And then when you look
Right.
at the lyrics, you're like, this makes zero sense. Like, what are they
Right.
even talking about?
That's true. So, who's your favorite rapper?
Ooh, that's hard to say. Favorite. Well, I'll say one of them. One of my
Okay.
favorites. I gotta go to Jay Z. I love hearing him.
Right. Yeah,
He,
he's great.
he,
Okay.
he goes
So,
hard on
who's your
his
favorite artist? Period. What's your favorite genre of music?
favorite
Is it
genre is
rock
probably
and
gonna have to be
roll?
like hip hop and rap, or hip hop
Hip hop
slash
and
rap.
rap?
How
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of more, which is weird because um I'm from Nebraska, so a state that
Right.
surprisingly, I it's kind of funny. Some people talk about Nebraska, they're like, "Where the hell's Nebraska?" I'm like, "You should know
Right.
all 50 states if you guys went to school. It's not hard to know where all 50, at least where everyone's at." But
Right.
a lot of country,
Yeah, I
a
like
lot of
country
country
too.
music.
I love Rascal Flats, Blake Shelton, Adam Levine. I love it all.
Hey,
Tim McGraw. I love it all. I'm not. I
that's
like.
there's a lot of that here, and the because right now I'm living in a bigger town. It's about like 300K. It's called Lincoln. I
Okay.
don't think you've ever even heard of it. Lincoln,
I
Nebraska.
haven't.
Uh, um, what we're known for is for the University of Nebraska Lincoln, or the Huskers football
Mhm.
game of the Huskers
Oh
football.
yeah, the
Uh,
Huskers. Yeah.
yeah, that's what we're known for, the Huskers. And
Okay.
but the town that I grew up in though is 6 hours west of Lincoln, in a small town of 850 people. called
Right.
Minutair. And
Okay.
so growing up there, it's a lot of country, and that's what I heard a lot. And I just, I don't know, I just was getting kind of sick and tired of country music that I wanted to keep listening to others, and that's when I started going into a lot of more of hip hop and rap, and I listen
Yeah.
to that more than country. Like I hear country, and I'm like, oh yeah, that I listen to the song, I'll sing to it, but I don't have it in my playlist anymore because
Right.
you know,
Oh, well, great. Well, I mean, I wish you such great success in your podcast. And you're young, so you got a great start ahead of you. And I think you'll be very successful. You're very personable. I feel it. I'm enjoying talking to you. So, yeah, you're definitely on your
hey,
way.
yeah, yeah, that's because obviously, like I said, me being 21, one of my hardest, I guess you can say, goals in life is
Right.
to be a millionaire by the age of 30.
There it is. Put it out there. Put it
And
out there.
one of those ways, and like before, a lot of the, I believe in a lot of the stuff of like, kind of like it happened for a reason, and
Right. I
like
want, yeah.
because yeah, because I'm studying to be a realtor to get into the world of real estate, know real estate, so then I can
Right.
start building my own real estate portfolio,
Okay.
myself. On top of that, on top of the podcast, on top of
Right.
YouTube, on top of a bunch of stuff, and
Yeah.
um, like I didn't even know about being a realtor, and out of nowhere, it popped up on my YouTube page.
Right.
Guy named uh, Graham Stephan. He popped out of nowhere,
Okay.
and
Hmm.
I never really watched anything finance, like really nothing other than like stocks, which again I also want to invest in. But
Right.
other than that, he just popped up, and I'm like, and his video was, uh, I think how he got a Tesla for like $78 a month, and he obviously said
Wow.
everything. And I'm like, a Tesla for $78 a month? That's amazing. And I looked into his profile, and he was a lot of real estate. And I'm like,
Right.
I heard real estate is a lot where the big fat money is. And that's
Right. Yes.
when I just kept looking, watching,
Yeah,
and started getting invested in, knowing more about real estate,
love
becoming
that.
a realtor, so then I can learn the market, study the market, learn how to sell. Because if I learn sales, being a realtor and knowing real estate, that'll help me when I do become my own real estate investor and create my
Right.
portfolio. So then I know how to
Right.
do it. Well, like
Yeah.
better, I guess you could say. And
Right.
with a podcast, I thought podcasts were boring. I would delete the app on my phone because I never even gave a care about podcasts. I was on
Right.
YouTube. Impulsive with Logan Paul in them popped up, and
Uh-huh.
it was about Jeffree Star because he moved to Wyoming, where and
Wow.
me being and where since I lived 6 hours west from here, so I was about an hour away from Wyoming. I'm like,
Right.
that's weird seeing a millionaire, especially from LA, move to Wyoming.
Right.
And so I
Yeah.
wanted to listen to it, and it was funny. I liked the comedy side of how they did it. So then I kept watching them, and then I watched
Right.
Joe Rogan's on how he
Right.
does his, and then I watched Graham Stephan's how he does his when his sound very professional. And I'm like, well, shit,
Right.
now I like listening to podcasts, so I decided to start one too.
No, they're informative. They're informative. And I'm like you, I didn't think I would like listening at a podcast. And I kept saying, I'm going to get a podcast. I'm going to get a podcast. I'm going to do one. And then one day I just started and I love it. I love it.
Especially like and it's, I mean, yes, it can be uh like, you can make it a full-time career. I mean, it's not a bad career. I mean, once it goes off, you can again be making a lot of money off of it.
Okay.
And and the crazy thing is, once you record your own podcast, depending on your topic, depending on what you do, an hour or two that you record it, and you're done. That's it. You don't gotta like you don't have to be messing with a lot of other stuff. You don't have to report to a boss. You don't gotta do really nothing. All you just do that, put it out there, bam, you're done. That's it. Like a YouTube video. You put it out there, bam, you're done. And now you just gotta keep promoting it,
Yeah.
wait, and keep
Yeah.
improving.
That's true. And it will in time, and you can't expect it. And some people podcasts does blow right up, but most people, and those are the people that's already got something major going on that blows up. But for
Mm-hmm.
you and I, starting off, we just have to be patient and let it build, and hope our followers will listen to us, and we'll get more followers. And I did. I don't know if you have LinkedIn, but I did LinkedIn the other day. I set up a LinkedIn account, and I got pretty good followers coming off of LinkedIn. So that's a plus for you.
I heard it's
Yeah, a lot
sharing it on
of,
social media is a good one to be just kind of
yeah,
putting it out there.
yeah, you're right. You're right. Well, it was amazing to be able to be on your podcast. I was excited, to be able to
Yeah, I
hear
didn't
and
think you would
talk.
have answered the message. I didn't think you would have answered.
Oh no, I think it's very important that we build one another up. So I'm like, yeah, of course, I definitely would be on your podcast. I think it's awesome, and I'm quite sure you'll get. I'm gonna tell everybody when you make sure when you post this, you let me know so I can tell everybody to go up there and watch that I was on your podcast, and that's how we build one another up, and you get more followers for your podcast. And I love doing stuff like.
Exactly.
So trust me, I'll let everybody know at work, at my family, and everybody, hey, I was on his podcast. Go up there and listen so you'll get more followers. Yeah,
So
and I
yeah,
expect you to do
we're
the same with a topic for you. I'm going to come up with a cute topic for your age range when I ask you to be online.
yeah. There we go. And because I appreciate all of that, and how you said, once I'm on yours, you know, you can shoot me a
Yeah,
text, a message on Facebook or whatever, and
yeah,
I think. And I didn't. Again, I didn't. It happened again for a reason. Yeah, I just got on a notification that you liked. I don't remember if it was my page or an episode because I know what
yeah,
I got your notification and I looked into it and so I'm like, oh, she's also starting one like me, and I'm like,
yeah,
I want to, and I just scrolled around. I'm like, let me try to get her on this too, so that I can,
yeah.
and it's good getting guests, and that's also another reason when with like specific when you do a specific topic you have to find those type of specific people, and sometimes it can be pretty hard, especially
Right,
if especially like, let's say if it's, I mean, finance can be broad, so that might be pretty easy, but let's say if all you talk about is like banks and credit unions, the
right,
only really people you're gonna attract, or not only attract but really get guests in, are going to be more people that do banking, a lot of the bankers and whatnot.
right.
Other than that, it's going to be really hard for others to get interested in it because they're just going to listen and say, like,
That's true. Yeah, you're right. So
yeah.
it is good to have a
Okay.
general, then you can just talk. Yeah, I agree.
Again,
Well, I
okay,
enjoyed being.
what made you want to start a podcast?
I just want to be able to give back something, in a way of just being able to talk to people, give people information, and a podcast is a great way to do that. I'm like I said, I'm not basing it strictly towards women, but just women go through a lot as well as men, and if you can kind of like talk, sometimes it helps talking it out with another person that's not a family or a close friend, but just it could be a
Mhm.
perfect stranger. And so I decided that I wanted to start a podcast because I thought it would help people. It would be cool, and it would grow, into something
Mhm.
amazing, which I see that happening already. So I'm excited.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. I can see it. I see it in you.
Yeah.
You
I'm
can
an
do it.
author of two books. I have two books out on Amazon. I'm an author as well. And yeah, I said podcast would be great. So I have a lot going for myself right now that I'm working towards building even more. So yeah,
Hmm.
awesome.
And what are those
Mhm.
books about? Might go take a look on
Two
those.
phases of one is my memoir and my autobiography memoir, and one is just a fiction book that I wrote, Two Faces of Beauty. It's a cute little story.
Hmm.
I have a friend that has a production company, and I think I hope that she would consider looking into it, if not for a screenplay, maybe a movie. Because it's a really cute story, and I plan on doing a second part to it. But it's really an amazing story about a college student who overcomes numerous odds, and it's really a cute story. Yeah, so you can look that up on Amazon. Two Faces of Beauty by Helen and Brown. It's on Amazon, and it's awesome. Yeah, you can
Okay.
Google me. No,
I'll
you
take
can Google.
I'll take a look on that.
Okay,
I'll take a
yeah,
look on that one.
yeah.
But just like give a little like background of yourself. Just kind of if you can go general. If
Well,
you can go general. If you want to be
well,
specific,
general.
just kind of give a little background.
I have three children. I live in Savannah, Georgia. I have three grandchildren. I went to St. Leo University. Like I say, I'm an author. I have two books out, Broken and Two Faces of Beauty. They're both on Amazon. I have my podcast, Helen's Podcast. I work full time. I am 55. I may not look it, but I'm 55 years young.
Hey,
And I'm
hey,
saying, yeah,
you can be you call yourself young at whatever age. As long as you
yeah,
can move young, you'll be good.
that's right. And I'm just looking forward to life and continuing to prosper and helping other people do the same.
Same here. I
Yep.
mean, and starting young. I mean, because also a lot of the people um, that I guess you can say I look up to, obviously like the very successful ones, and that's why I'm reading a
Right.
lot of their books. And me being young, because it's because there's a book I read called Rich Dad Poor Dad. I don't know if you've heard about that book. Um,
I have.
but it was one of those where because here
Rich Dad.
in
Yeah.
yeah, the Rich Dad Poor Dad one, yeah, I didn't even know about that book. Like I kind of knew about it, but it was kind of one of those books like, oh, it was so much so talked about that it was just getting annoying. I'm like, oh, I don't even want to listen to it now because it's
Right.
too much talked about. And
Right.
when I guess you can say, my mental health wasn't the greatest, and so I
Right.
had to kind of just had people needed people to talk to, and so then I
Right.
talked to over in Omaha, being a realtor and whatever. Obviously over in Omaha, Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett, he's got his fancy company.
Right.
There's a bunch of small brokerages, and one of them is like Berkshire Home Services, and
Right.
branching off of that is a team called the Briley team, like supposedly the
Okay.
number one team in Omaha. And so
Mm-hmm.
I was able to talk to the actual like like founder, I guess you can say, of the team, Adam Briley. I talked with
Right.
him, and because he told me what is your goal, and I told him how I want to be a millionaire at 30, and he was like, well, you can do it.
Right.
And I mean, he likes to cuss a lot, just like me. And he was
Yes.
just he was just like, you can fucking do it, like,
Yeah.
and just giving me motivational shit. And then was
Right.
also telling me, hey, um, like set small goals, because when you set those small goals, you'll be way over ahead of that goal. So he's like, so if you're your first year being a
Right.
realtor, or actually not even being a realtor, just in general, your first year, how much do you
Right.
want to make? And I told him
Right.
50K because I've never seen anything over 5,000 in my account. He's like,
Right.
if you shoot for 50K in 1 year, I bet you damn well that one year that you want 50K, that'll be
Right.
100K without you even trying.
Okay.
And and whatever he's like, because he's like, the way you're talking to me and the way you have shit planned out, you can be a millionaire
Right.
before you even hit 30. And I'm like, well, it's I don't want it to be a lot
Right.
of talk and no action, no doing, and that's a lot of problems that can happen where you
Right.
can talk about it. Here's your plans, but
Right.
if you don't put it into action, you're never going to go anywhere.
Right.
And one of my not
That's
only
true. And you do. Goals.
yeah, and not only one, because obviously one of my big goals is obviously being a millionaire by the age of 30, but one of my other big ones is
Right.
retiring both my parents. Uh,
Okay.
because I grew up in a household where we never really I never got taught anything financially.
Right.
like we were they're all pretty bad when it comes to finances, and so obviously
Right.
that stuck with me. Struggling with some finances and
Right.
learning me wanting to learn all that, change myself, so then I can be what I want to be, and then give to them, retire them, so I can
Right.
tell them, you know, stop working, relax. They're I mean they're not at the age of retiring, but my mom's health is slowly deteriorating. She's not gonna die like tomorrow or anything. It's just the
Right.
older you get, your health just starts to slowly
Right.
deteriorate, and so I don't want her to, like how they say, basically work herself to death, to where the last time she'll step foot working when she's almost on her deathbed. And I'm like, and I don't want that to happen.
Right.
I'm like,
Right. I
retire,
agree.
re- retire them when I can. So then, if that hospital bill of 20,000 comes up and they need to take a loan
You
out,
got
it's like you don't need to take a loan out anymore. The money I gave you, it's for that. Like, go relax, go, like
right.
retire, because you
Right.
know, once it gets to them when they can't work anymore and you don't have
Hmm.
any money coming in or any money saved, you're kind of
Right.
fucked. You're fucked. Like, you don't,
Yeah.
nothing else you can do.
You're right. Yeah. That's why I'm working hard now because I'm like, okay, I'm over the broke shit. I need money. I want to be able to eat when I want to eat. I want to be able to do the things that I want to do, and that's why I'm pushing myself beyond now
I can
because
see
I
you
want to.
doing it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm doing. I'm digging in. I got 10 toes down, and I'm rocking with it.
There you
Yeah.
go. 'Cause is there anything that you regret? Looking back, that, let's say, 5, 10 plus years, you look back and say, I should have done this, or I wish I did
Yeah,
this, but now I can't.
I do. I have some things that I regret. Um, did those things give me knowledge? They did. Would have changed anything at this point in my life? I would have changed a couple things. I would have changed a marriage that I had. I would have changed that. I would have still had the child out of that marriage, but I would have changed. I would just had my kid. I wouldn't have
Mm-hmm.
gotten married. And I would have went a different path. So yeah, there's definitely some things that I regret in life. Bad decisions that I've made in life, I regret those. Wish I could change those. Did I get knowledge out of them? Yes, I did. But would I change them? Yeah, I would. I would definitely change them. My kids know I want them three. I love them. They
Yeah.
match me. That's something that I would definitely not change at all. Because I got beautiful grandkids from them. They little quirky personalities. But yeah, there's a few things I would definitely change. You're still young and fresh, and you seems to have your head on great. I love that. Keep
Thank
going,
you.
and you
I
definitely.
appreciate.
I think you'll
I
make that
appreciate that.
millionaire mark before 30.
That's that's what I'm hoping. But I was just giving myself 30 because, like how he said, if once I give myself those small little goals and I can create all these assets
Right,
that I want to create, it, it can happen. And like how you said, for me being this young, like I want to be that person to where I can, how people call it, basically retire
right.
young and have these assets giving me the cash
Good
flow,
for
so then
you.
I don't have to work till I die, or something like that, or
Right.
work and retire when I'm 65. It's like, no, I'm done. I can chill back. I can, if I want to take a day off, I can take a day off and not worry about anything. Not worry about money, not about anything.
And that means a lot when you're able to take a day off and not worry, oh, God, I had to take a day off now. I got to worry about how I'm going to get this day's payback. You don't want to have to worry about that.
Mm-hmm. It, oh,
Or if you're
and it
sick,
always
having
sucks
to go
when,
into work and you're sick.
mm-hmm,
Yeah,
like,
I get you.
yeah, there's a well, because here in Nebraska, I cut because with Midwest, I hear about a bunch of all these states that are considered Midwest, but like Nebraska,
Right,
we're kind of like, when it comes to weather, we're kind of in that area of we can get everything minus hurricanes. So we can,
right,
we're near like tornado season. When, I mean, Kansas being one of the big ones, we're near them. Um, we've had blizzards, we've had floods, we've had a
right,
bunch of others, we've had wind, um,
right,
and so when you can't work because there's a whole blizzard and streets are closing, yeah, it can feel nice. You're like, oh, I can't go to work because like, it's too dangerous to go outside. But then you look at your
right.
paycheck and it's down
Ooh,
100, 200, depending on how much you had to
right,
take off. And now you're like, well, shit. Let's say you earn a $1,200 check, but now your check is 1,000, maybe even 900. You're like, well, shit. I mean,
yeah.
uh,
Oh,
I,
trust me, that's a big, yeah, I know, I know. You'd be like, what the hell am I going to do? Missing these few $100 really matter.
yeah,
Imagine.
and I don't want, and I want it to where it I can relax, and even like not only the month, like having those assets, but even just the bank account. I'd be like, oh, okay, I can miss a day of work. Okay, cool
Right.
by me.
Yeah.
Cool. And
I'm good.
being in a college town, I see a lot of kids my age kind of like that. Like I'll see them just chill, be at home, and I'm like, I wish I could do that, but some of them are
Right.
only in college. Like they're not working. They may have already
Right.
had all this money saved up.
Right.
Maybe have companies as well, or maybe mom and dad gave them a huge chunk of cash and said, "Here, you're in college. We'll give you this,
Right.
and kind of you do what you do." And
You did. Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and sometimes I I usually say I envy some of them, but then I'm just like, I want to work
Yeah.
towards that goal to when I can do that. I can be like them, and but do more. Like, yeah, I can do that,
Right.
but I can book a couple of plane tickets because I want to go to someplace and go tomorrow,
Right.
and not plan them
That's
5
right.
months ahead, 3 months ahead,
You definitely will be doing that. You definitely will
and
be doing that.
work to save. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's got a bunch of goals that one I have to manifest. I have to keep telling myself that I can do it, and that's also a huge
Right.
thing with a lot of the books that I was reading. That's what it talked about. If you can see yourself doing it, if you can dream it, if it feels real, like one day, like go like turn off the lights, close your eyes, and just imagine what you want in the future, like your your houses or your cars or your money, whatever.
Yeah.
Sit
You can
down
see
in a
yourself
quiet room.
living in it. Yeah.
You know, if you can see
Yeah.
it, then you know it's real. Then you know you can achieve it.
Yeah.
And like,
Right.
but you gotta get something out of you in order for that to happen, because people can want a better future, a better life, but if you're just gonna stick to the same race as everyone else, it's gonna be
Right.
really hard to
That's
want
true.
that.
Yeah, that's so true. And you got to see yourself. Like I see myself getting so many opportunities, and I see myself on walking across that stage, talking to an audience, and just giving, you
Mm-hmm.
know, love and feedback and light. And I see that. I can see it. I know it's going to happen really soon. I can see it. I'm a visionary, and they said Bishop T.D. Jakes said it well. He said it's hard being a visionary because you can see it, but it's so hard because it's going to take you a minute to get to it. And that's the hardest part about being a visionary. And I'm a visionary. Like I see it and I know I'm going to get to it, but it's so hard going through it to get to it.
I mean that's
Yeah.
that's how it is with a lot of things. You can see it, but not knowing how to attack it, like go do it, it's to a lot of people can be
Right.
the hard part. And it's and one of the things that the, that isn't really talked about a lot is, when it comes to mental health, because a lot of people, they want it, but their mental health can be so fucked up that they don't know how to get out of it. Like their mental state is such in a dark place that
Right.
they don't see the right way out. When you tell them, "Oh,
Right.
what are your dreams?" and they're like, "Oh, I wanted to be an actor or actress or a singer,
Right.
whatever, but I don't see myself
Right.
doing it because, you know, I did it, it didn't work out, so I don't know what to do."
Yeah.
And
That's true. And mental health is a big issue these days that needs to be talked about, that people don't talk about it as much as they should. And
mhm.
it's a big deal because we go through a lot. The pandemic really put a lot of stress and strain on families, households, everybody. But
And the
not only
crazy thing, oh my bad. You can continue.
but not only that, it's just mental health period, just the stress of everyday life. Like you said, if you was out sick and you had to miss a day, missing that extra $200 off your paycheck is a big stressor because you were sick. What could you do? You had to stay home. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's why I look for jobs. I think everybody should look for jobs with benefits, and a little PTO because that means a lot. PTO means a lot. If I'm sick, I don't have to worry. I can use that 8 hours off of my PTO. And
Hmm.
that was a big thing for me with one of my previous jobs was the PTO. And I hope that they got the PTO now because I kept pressing that issue. And I hope they got that PTO now in case somebody's sick and they need to be out. They can be out.
Hmm. Because that can be a lifesaver, or like when you wanna take a vacation, but and that PTO can save you. But if you don't
Right.
have PTO and you want to, you're like, oh, I can take 5 days off, but that's 5 days off my paycheck, and that's
Yeah.
gonna cut that can basically cut it in half. And you're like, I don't know if I want to stretch it that far, and
Yeah. That's true.
because and like how you said with the whole like mental health thing, oh shit, people just can go just down some pretty dark paths. I mean,
Yeah, I
I've
know.
seen I've seen bright people that you look at them, you're like,
Mhm.
oh, like they're like you would never even see them touch alcohol in their lives. Now they're
Right.
struggling with alcohol and drug problems for that same
Right.
reason is, and it because then it's it's a lot environmental too, because let's say you want to go do something, like let's say you want to start a business, but then your parents say don't do that, that's you're not a guarantee, you don't have a guaranteed salary, so
Right.
go to college, get a job, get a good paying job, and then that's it. But you don't want to do that, and them
Right.
have bringing a lot of that negative energy towards you can suck that out of you to where, let's say now you decide to go do it, or because of the amount of negative energy, Now you don't even
Mm-hmm.
want to do it. You don't even want to go to work. You're like, man, like
Right.
what's the point of life now? Like I don't know what to do now. And
Yeah. True.
it's especially for a lot of people my age, it's very terrifying to see some kids just
Right.
be excited for college and then a year in not
They're
even
not.
finish. Not they're not even in it anymore.
Wow. Well, that's good. You have a podcast and you're in college. You can bring a lot of love and light to them and positivity and, talk about mental health issues. It may be someone in your class that you spoke on that topic that you can reach, and that means a lot. So you have to, think about you're in college, so you can blow up. Like, you just gotta be able to get them interested in listening at your podcast. You have a great voice. It captured me when I listened at it, and that's something I listen at. And I think you're going to do great, and you're going to make your $1 million mark before 30. And I'll be able to say, "Hey, I was on his podcast, and look at him
Thank
now."
thank you. And actually, I'm not even in college. I was doing online classes for real estate. I was
Uh,
in college. I did go to UNL, but it was
okay,
one of those things where I didn't know what I wanted to do. I went
right,
in to computer science just because just to find something to do, but I didn't know what to do. I
right,
I dropped out more because I guess I failed out of it because I just
right,
stopped showing up to classes. It wasn't interest. It was interesting,
right.
but because on the syllabus it said 70% of it is like
Hmm.
us, 30% of it is in class. I'm like, then
Okay,
what the hell am I paying for this class then?
right,
If you're telling me if you're telling me you have to self teach yourself 70% of the time and I can only tell you 30% of it, it's like
right,
why even pay for that then?
right,
Why should I be taking loans out just for you to tell me, "Oh, just read these books or
right.
get these books that we will never use
Yeah,
and go at it." And it was just those things I'm like, "No,
yeah.
I didn't want to do."
Well,
And
real estate is definitely awesome. You can do one sale if you're in the right area and make $1 million commission. So you are definitely in the right field with real estate. You can't go wrong with that field. You can sell one house and make a $250,000 commission. I mean, you have the ability to do that in real estate. Real estate is a great business. You're doing real estate, you're doing that for school, you're doing your podcast your way. You're thinking about investing or you already investing at 21, you're definitely on your way. You'll definitely make your mark. And I think you will do it before that.
thank you, thank you. And
You're
it's pretty interesting when a lot of the kids that I went to school with, most of them, I mean, granted, I graduated with 14 kids, so that's how small my high
right.
school was. But
Wow.
even then, even talking with them and people in the panhandle, it was
Right.
pretty amazing where when I wanted to talk to them about like investing, some of them just looked at me
Right.
like that's boring. Like, why do you want that? Like, why do you want to look into that? Or it's like,
Right.
eh, I don't want like I'll just save my money. I'll just put it in a 401k and that's it. And I'm like let your money work for you. Don't work for the money. Let the money work for you because
Right.
then you don't have to work for it anymore. Then you can just
Right.
let it come to you.
Yeah.
And it's
Well, I definitely think you're on your way, and I love that. And I really enjoyed being on your podcast, and
thank you
I
for
look forward
wanting to come
to
on
returning
it.
an update, any positive updates. And like I say, I will definitely do something really cute. I have a cousin, the first cousin that's in real estate. And when I get ready to invite you on my podcast, maybe I can have her up there as well. And you guys, she can give you some great feedback on real estate.
And that'd be nice. I mean, even though we might be in different states, real estate is real estate. I can
Real
get some
estate is
feedback
real
from her
estate.
and kind of
Yeah.
look at the markets here and kind of help myself there too. But
Well, I definitely enjoyed being up here. I did. To get dinner ready. I'm so tired.
that's sorry to hear that,
I know.
um,
Yeah. I
but
have to
okay,
get dinner.
well,
Get
thank
ready
you
to get up
for
early this morning. You're welcome.
thank you for coming on here. Um, again, I will go check out your books.
Okay,
You
girl.
said Broken and
Two
two.
faces of beauty.
Alrighty, and yeah, you said Amazon, right? I'll look that up.
Yep, Amazon. Okay,
Right,
well,
and
thank you so much
when,
for inviting me.
of course, and when I find them, I will put them in the description of the podcast, and then I'll also put yours. I'll put your Facebook page and your
Oh,
podcast on there too, just so people listen, people see it. They could also go check it out too. And
thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. And
of
I'll do the
course, of
same.
course,
We'll
of
definitely
course,
keep
of
in
course.
contact with one another.
Yeah, and just tell me whenever you want me to be on yours. I'll
I will.
I'll make sure to be prepared.
Okay, thank you. Have a good
All right.
evening.
Thank you. You too.
Bye
Bye bye.
bye. Bye.